Hi, I'm Joy. 6 months pregnant and sitting on Tara's faded blue couch instead of my own because my brother Marcus decided he knew what was best for me. Again. You can't just hide out here forever, Tara said, handing me a mug of ginger tea. Her bracelets clinked against the ceramic. Though you're welcome as long as you need. I'm not hiding, I replied, rubbing my swollen belly. I'm regrouping. There's a difference. Tara raised an eyebrow. Has Ethan called again? 17 times. I finally answered this morning. I took a small sip, the warmth spreading through my chest. And Tara plopped down beside me, tucking her legs underneath her. She always sat like that, compact and ready to spring into action. He's beside himself. Said he came home to find the door wide open, my phone on the kitchen counter, and me gone. He thought I'd been kidnapped until Marcus texted him. Tara's eyes widened. What did the text say? She's safe. She doesn't need you anymore. Don't contact us. As if I'm some possession Marcus can just claim. That's actually insane, Joy. Your brother literally dragged you out of your house while pregnant. I winced at the memory of Marcus's grip on my arm, the way he'd pulled me toward the door while I stumbled to keep up. He said he was rescuing me. That Ethan wasn't good enough for me. Never had been. That he'd been waiting for the right moment to step in. The right moment being when you're 6 months pregnant with Ethan's child? Tara's voice dripped with sarcasm. According to Marcus, especially then, he kept saying, "You think it's too late. But it's not. We can figure this out." I imitated his authoritative tone. The doorbell rang, startling us both. Tara peeked through the curtains and turned to me, face serious. "It's your Aunt Vivian." My stomach dropped. Marcus must have called in reinforcements. Aunt Vivian swept in like a hurricane in designer clothes, her perfume arriving before she did. "Joy, darling." She clasped my hands in hers. "Thank goodness Marcus got you out of there. We've all been so worried." Worried about what, exactly? I pulled my hands away. That man has you completely isolated. When was the last time you came to a family dinner? Christmas? And now with a baby coming. His name is Ethan, I interrupted. My husband. And he's never stopped me from seeing anyone. Aunt Vivian exchanged a look with Tara, who shrugged as if to say, "Don't include me in this." "Sweetheart, sometimes we can't see what's right in front of us. Marcus told me how Ethan controls the finances, how he's always checking your phone." I stood up so quickly my tea sloshed over the rim. "That's a lie. A complete fabrication." "Well, Aunt Vivian stammered. "Did Marcus also tell you he physically dragged me out of my home? That I begged him to stop? That I dropped my phone because he wouldn't even let me grab my purse?" "He said you were emotional because of the pregnancy hormones," Aunt Vivian whispered. As she spoke, my phone buzzed with a text. It was from my friend Layla, who lived across the street. "Joy, you need to call me. I have the security camera footage from yesterday. Your brother is telling everyone you asked him for help, but that's not what I saw. Call me." I showed the message to Tara, whose eyes lit up. "Well," she said, turning to Aunt Vivian, "looks like we're about to find out exactly what happened. No hormones required." "Play it again," I said, squinting at Layla's laptop screen. The three of us, Layla, Tara, and I, were huddled at Layla's dining table. "There," Layla pointed. "You can clearly see you're trying to pull away from him." The security footage showed Marcus practically dragging me down the front walk to his car. My free hand was pressed protectively over my baby bump. "You were saying something," Tara observed. "Can this thing record audio?" Layla shook her head. "Video only. But look at your face, Joy. You're definitely not going willingly." "I was saying stop and let go of me," I recalled, feeling sick. Over and over. "We need to take this to the police," Tara said firmly. "And tell them what? My brother forced me to leave my house? They'll say it's a family matter." I rubbed my temples. "It's assault," Layla countered. "You're pregnant, and he manhandled you. Plus, there's the issue of him basically holding you against your will afterward." My phone rang. Ethan again. This time I answered and put him on speaker. "Joy? Are you okay? Where are you?" His voice was hoarse with worry. "I'm at Layla's." I'm fine. The baby's fine. Thank God, he breathed. I've been losing my mind. Marcus won't tell me anything, and your family isn't returning my calls. What happened? Marcus happened, I said bitterly. He showed up yesterday ranting about how you're not good enough for me, and when I told him to leave, he physically dragged me to his car. I'm calling the police, Ethan said immediately. Wait, I said. Layla has it on her security camera. We're figuring out next steps. Next steps? Joy, he assaulted you. I know, but it's complicated. He's been telling the family I wanted to leave, that you're abusive. What? Ethan's voice cracked. Layla leaned toward the phone. Ethan, it's Layla. The footage clearly shows Joy resisting. We can prove Marcus is lying. Has anyone spoken to your parents? Tara asked. They're in Europe, I said. Marcus probably called them with his version of events. My phone buzzed with another call. Marcus. I declined it, but a text immediately followed. Stop ignoring me. This is for your own good. I'm coming to get you. I showed everyone the message. That settles it, Tara said. We're going to the police. Now. At the station, Officer Chen reviewed the footage with a neutral expression. And what happened after he took you from your home, Mrs. Harrison? He took me to his place, took my keys, and told me I was staying with him until I came to my senses. I waited until he went to work this morning, then called Tara to pick me up. That's unlawful detention, Officer Chen said, making notes. Combined with the assault? Will you arrest him? I asked. We'll bring him in for questioning and present this to the DA. Officer Chen looked me in the eye. In the meantime, I suggest you get a restraining order. As we left the station, Marcus called again. This time I answered. Where are you? He demanded. I'm at Tara's, and you're not here. I don't answer to you, Marcus. Joy, you're not thinking clearly. That man has poisoned your mind. That man is my husband, and he's twice the person you are. Stay away from me, Marcus. I mean it. You'll thank me someday, he said, his voice softening. I'm only trying to protect you. From what? A loving husband? A stable home for my child? The only person I need protection from is you. Don't be dramatic. I just left the police station, I cut in. They've seen what you did. Stay away from me, or there will be consequences. The line went silent for a moment. Then, you're going to regret this, Joy. You have no idea what you're doing. The threat in his voice sent a chill through me. Is that a threat? I asked, Officer Chen's business card burning a hole in my pocket. It's a promise, Marcus said, and hung up. The restraining order came through 2 days later, just in time as Marcus had been circling Tara's house in his car at odd hours. I'd moved back home with Ethan, who'd installed new security cameras and changed the locks. He's here, Ethan said, looking at his phone where the security app showed Marcus approaching our front door. I took a deep breath. Let me handle this. I opened the door before Marcus could knock, restraining order in hand. His eyes widened in surprise, then narrowed when he saw Ethan standing behind me. You've gone back to him, after everything I told you? Marcus looked genuinely bewildered. After everything you told me? You mean the lies you made up to justify dragging me out of my house? I was trying to help you, he insisted. You're my little sister. It's my job to protect you. From what, Marcus? Tell me exactly what Ethan has done. Marcus glanced at Ethan, then back to me. He's isolated you from the family. You never visit anymore. Because you criticize every choice I make, I interrupted. Every single time I visit, you make snide comments about Ethan, about my job, about where we live. That's not true, Marcus protested. It absolutely is, Ethan said quietly. I've heard you myself. Stay out of this, Marcus snapped. This is between me and my sister. No, it's between you and your sister and her husband, I corrected. We're a package deal, Marcus. Something you've never accepted. Because he's not good enough for you. He works in retail, for God's sake. You could have had anyone. He manages 3 stores and is being promoted to regional director next month. I cut in. Not that it matters. I love him. That should be enough for you. Love doesn't pay bills, Marcus scoffed. Neither does assault, I replied coldly, holding up the restraining order. This says you have to stay at least 100 yards away from me, my home, and my workplace. Marcus's face flushed red. You're getting a restraining order against your own brother? Over a little family disagreement? A disagreement? Ethan stepped forward. You physically removed my pregnant wife from our home and held her against her will. That's assault and unlawful detention. I was protecting her. The security footage shows otherwise, I said. Layla caught it all on camera. Marcus went very still. What footage? From across the street. It shows you dragging me to your car while I'm clearly resisting. You're blowing this way out of proportion, Marcus said, his voice rising. I'm your brother. Everything I've done has been for your own good. The police disagree, I replied. They're building a case against you as we speak. You called the police on me? Marcus's voice cracked. For the first time, fear flickered across his face. Joy, you need to drop this. Think about the family. I am thinking about my family, I said, placing a hand on my belly. My husband and my child. I'm sorry, okay? Marcus's tone abruptly changed. I got carried away. I was worried about you. Can't we just forget this happened? No, I said firmly. We can't. You assaulted me. You lied to our entire family about my husband, and you've shown zero remorse until faced with consequences. I said I'm sorry. What more do you want? I want you to leave, now, before I call Officer Chen and report you for violating the restraining order. Marcus's face contorted with rage. You ungrateful little... He lunged forward, grabbing my arm. Ethan immediately stepped between us, pushing Marcus back. Get your hands off her! This is your fault! Marcus shouted at Ethan. You turned her against me! He shoved Ethan hard, sending him stumbling backward. That's assault, came a voice from the street. Officer Chen stood there watching. And a violation of the restraining order. You were following me? Marcus asked incredulously. We had reason to believe you might attempt contact, Officer Chen replied, approaching with handcuffs ready. Marcus Evans, you're under arrest for violation of a protective order and assault. As Officer Chen recited Miranda rights to my brother, Marcus glared at me with undisguised hatred. This isn't over, he hissed. You'll regret this, Joy. I promise you that. All rise, called the bailiff as the judge entered the courtroom. 3 months had passed since Marcus's arrest. My baby bump was now impossible to hide, and I shifted uncomfortably in the wooden chair. Ethan squeezed my hand supportively. Be seated, the judge said. We're here for sentencing in the matter of State versus Marcus Evans. Marcus sat at the defendant's table, looking smaller somehow in his suit. He'd pleaded guilty to reduced charges after the prosecutor showed him Layla's security footage and the testimony from Officer Chen, who witnessed his second assault. The judge reviewed some papers, then looked up. Mr. Evans, you've pleaded guilty to assault and violation of a protective order. Before I pronounce sentence, would you like to make a statement? Marcus stood, cleared his throat. Your Honor, I made a terrible mistake. I thought I was protecting my sister, but I went about it all wrong. I've had a lot of time to think, and I realize now that I was projecting my own issues onto her marriage. I'm deeply sorry for the pain I've caused, and I hope someday my sister can forgive me. The judge turned to me. Miss Harrison, as the victim, you have the right to make a statement as well. I rose awkwardly, one hand supporting my back. Your Honor, my brother has a pattern of controlling behavior that culminated in him physically removing me from my home while I was 6 months pregnant. He then isolated me, lied to our family about my husband being abusive, and ultimately threatened me when confronted with his actions. His apology today rings hollow, especially since he's made no effort to correct the lies he told our family. Thank you, the judge said. Mr. Evans, this court takes domestic violence very seriously. Your sister was in a vulnerable state, and your actions could have endangered both her and her unborn child. I sentence you to 18 months probation, mandatory anger management and counseling, 200 hours of community service, and the protective order will remain in effect for 3 years. After the hearing, I stood outside the courtroom with Ethan, Tara, and Layla when Aunt Vivian approached, looking contrite. Joy, I owe you an apology, she said. I should have questioned Marcus's story. Yes, you should have, I agreed, not making it easy for her. Is there any way we can move past this? For the sake of the family? Your parents are devastated. They're devastated that their son assaulted their pregnant daughter. Or that their daughter pressed charges, I asked pointedly. Aunt Vivian looked away. Both, I suppose. Then they need to decide where they stand, I said. I won't pretend everything's fine for the sake of family peace. As Aunt Vivian walked away, Marcus emerged from the courtroom. Our eyes met briefly before Officer Chen stepped between us, reminding him of the protective order's terms. As he was led away, he called over his shoulder, Joy, please, can we talk? I really am sorry. I turned my back on him and faced my real support system, Ethan, Tara, and Layla. Let's go home, I said firmly. At home that evening, Tara and Layla came over for dinner. As we sat around the table, Tara raised her glass. To consequences, she toasted. And to chosen family, I added, smiling at the people who had actually supported me. Do you think you'll ever reconcile with Marcus? Layla asked hesitantly. I considered the question, rubbing my belly as the baby kicked. No, I said finally. Some bridges can't be rebuilt. And honestly, I don't want to. He showed me who he really is, and I believe him. What about your parents? Ethan asked gently. That depends on them, I replied. If they can respect my boundaries and my choices, including my decision about Marcus, then yes. If not, I shrugged. Then I have all the family I need right here. As our friends left that evening, Ethan wrapped his arms around me from behind, his hands cradling our growing child. Are you okay? He murmured into my hair. I'm better than okay, I said, turning to face him. For the first time in my life, I stood up to Marcus instead of giving in for the sake of peace. And you know what? It feels right. I'm proud of you, Ethan said. Standing up to family is never easy. I smiled, taking his hand and placing it where the baby was kicking. What do you think, little one? Did Mommy do the right thing? The baby kicked again, as if in answer. I'll take that as a yes, I laughed. What about you? Would you have done anything differently?